Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments and this is your second video of the day. This morning we did a bunch of data mines based on yesterday's patch, so if you're interested please be sure to check that out. We have all of the December and January cards. Today we've got a casual 3 decks for you. Those 3 decks, 2 are 70% plus win rates and 1 is a spin on an old classic. We're going to begin with the first 70% win rate deck of the day. It is Ika Screams. Ika is one of the best deck builders in the game, and when we talk about constantly on this channel, Ika has absolutely been rocking with this deck and says this is the best home for Scream. Never one to doubt Ika. I took this for a spin and can vouch this is an absolutely stellar list. You can find Ika at twitch.tv/IkaMTS, and as is often the case, Scream decks are relatively cheap. This version needs just Scream and Kate Bishop, so if you got Scream and bought Kate Bishop the week she was in, the month she was in the season pass, then you are all good to go. Cannonball is great and important here, but can be Magneto without you losing too much in this build. So this went 21 and 9 for 70% win rate. Turn 1, you'd really like to drop Hood. You do have Viper in the list as a way to get rid of Hood later. Turn 2, you want Scream over Kate Bishop. Turn 3, if you have Scream, you want Movers. If you have Kate, you want Cloggers. You want to aim mid or right for either because you're aiming for a Clog lane and then Cannonball to win you another. Turn 4 is Stegron or Cloggers, and turn 4 is when you can really start doing a specific trick. It's where you can go with, if you don't have priority, Titania first, Green Goblin second, Titania first, Viper second, and what that's going, as long as you have other cards in that lane, and what that's going to accomplish for you, as I adjust myself, sorry, what that's going to accomplish for you is it's going to give both cards to that lane. You can then play another card there later. That other card will immediately get back to Tanya, winning you that lane. That will hopefully clog a lane so that your Cannonball, so that your whatever else can win. If you're having trouble with that, Stegron should also be really good at clogging, and you can do something similar turn 5. Arrow is your other turn 5 play, outside of potentially clogging with Stegron and a 1. That 1 can again be Titania. It could also be a demon at this point, perfectly fine. And then you want to end with Cannonball, Shang, and 1s. And at that point, you usually win the game. There's very little most decks can do to actually stop this. Luke Cage is annoying but not pivotal because you're clogging the opponent up, right? And Luke doesn't prevent the clog. It might prevent Scream from doing quite as much damage, but you still have enough power to easily win the game. After this, we're going to take a look at, well, it's not my infinite deck. It's actually an update because I was going to start there, but by the time I got home from work, the #1 player in Marvel Snap last season, Sizer, the only person to ever be #1 3 seasons, had already cracked the code for Malekith. So that's going to be the next list. But first, if you have Scream and you have Hawkeye, please do play this list. It is absolutely stellar. No one is ready for Clog. The things that answer Clog are just not in the meta. You will absolutely rip off cubes with this list. Before we go any further, though, before we hit that next list, I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button as we do our very best to hit 16,000 subs. We bring you more Marvel Snap content and videos than absolutely anyone. This will be our second video of the day. Tomorrow we will also be releasing 2 videos. We do 7 days a week of videos. We haven't missed a day on this channel since we started doing every day well over a year ago at this point. Please hit that sub button if you want the most consistent Marvel Snap content from the best deck builders in the game. We promise at least 3 new decks every single day. If you're willing to like and comment as well, that can enter you to win a Surtur Season Pass. Basically, as long as you're subbed, you like, I will tell you to leave a specific comment. Then one comment this week will win a Season Pass of Surtur. Next up, we have Sizer Malekith. This list is kind of nutty. I've had a massive amount of success. Sizer and I then spent a bunch of time after he finished his stream when he was supposed to be going to sleep, talking about potential changes and how to make this deck as good as possible. Because right now, this is really, really dominating. It ended up having a little trouble at the end of the stream as Sizer ran into mirror after mirror. I decided, executive decision, not to count the mirror stats at the end of the stream because honestly, who cares? It was literally playing, because Sizer is the #1 player, the deck became popular, and then like sometimes when the deck plays itself, one has to win and one has to lose. No one really cares. So this had a 70% win rate and a real sample size of games immediately. I played this and I actually have my stats because unlike the other deck, I did this on my computer so I could get stats. Holy shit, is this list good. So I'm going to tell you straight up what I think of Malekith right now. I think that draw in Marvel Snap is extremely strong. There are very few draw cards in this game of Marvel Snap. They're mostly fairly terrible, like Crystal or Adam Warlock. Malekith says draw a card. It doesn't just say draw a card, it says draw and play that card, so you don't even have to worry about it. That's insane. I didn't always hit amazing things with it. I hit a copycat that just was like, oh, great. I played a 411. I played a Valentina, 4-9, not bad. I also hit a Luke Cage and Juggernaut, both of which won me games and cubes. Knowing I had them there was huge and absolutely pivotal. If you can wait till the end of the game and you only have one or two small things in there, you can take a 50-50 with Malekith to hit that Luke Cage and win the game, or hit that Juggernaut and win the game. And that's just so strong. I love this card. This is an expensive list. I'm aware this is an expensive list, but it is so worth it. You can find Sizer playing this list at twitch.tv/Sizer2654. It'll be yesterday's VOD, but if you ask him to play it again, he absolutely will. You need 3 high series cards to play this list. You need US Agent, Ajax, and Man-Thing. I know yesterday I spoke badly on Man-Thing, but as the meta continues to evolve, literally this game moves so fast. Every week when a new card comes out, things shift. I think unless you are still in Surtur Hell, and you should know if you're still in Surtur Hell, Man-Thing is necessary. If you are in Surtur Hell, you can play this without Man-Thing. Anti-Venom for this list can be Iron Lad. Anti-Venom is better, but Iron Lad is fine. Silver Sable can be Hydra Bob. Silver Sable or Hydra Bob can be Zabu, Psylocke, and Iceman. There is something to say for just cutting those two and adding Zabu and Psylocke. Those are worse hits with the Malekith, though, so I'm not 100% sure, but they do let you get out one of the extra 4s earlier than you would otherwise. Iceman is just good. Valentina can be Cable and Mirage. You don't lose too much there. In some cases, they'll be better. In some cases, they'll be worse. And Copycat can be Frigga, Cassandra Nova, or Mobius. There is an argument for Frigga here, largely because Frigga with Anti-Venom is very, very strong. But Cassandra Nova and Mobius are both also very good cards. I know those are all higher series, but sorry. All right, so Sizer went 33-10 for 70% win rate, and I went 5-0 at plus 16 freaking cubes. Yeah, that's a lot. So turn 1 is Sable over Bob because you want them to have to play something that's hit by Sable. It's also really, really good against those Scar decks. If you happen to hit one of their 10s, now it's an 8, and that's not a problem for you. Turn 2, you want Valentina is better than US Agent, is better than one of the 1-drops. Turn 3 is Luke over Copycat. Turn 4, Anti-Venom over Man-Thing, which is more or less equal to Malekith, depending on what's in your deck. So if your opponent's playing a lot of low-cost cards, you can just drop Man-Thing and just be done. Do that. If you think you have an option for Malekith on turn 6, you can feel free to do that. If you have Ajax in hand already, you might want to, but don't have Hazmat, you might want to try Malekith to see if you can hit that Hazmat, versus if you don't have Ajax, now you might want a Malekith for a better chance at drawing that Ajax. You get the idea. So turn 5 is either Ajax or Hazmat US Agent at a 1, and sometimes that's the Anti-Venom card just as well. If you're running a Frigga version, you can run, at that point, you can go Hazmat, Anti-Venom, and Anti-Venom card, and Frigga, which is really, really, really strong. Turn 6 is Ajax and a 1 or a 2. Or you can play Hazmat or Agent with Malekith or Man-Thing to end the game. Either of those are fine. This list is insane. This is one of the best lists in Marvel Snap. I'm so happy to be, seemingly, it's very early, right about Malekith. I love this list. This list is going to be everywhere. Even if you don't get this card, you need to know it because this is one of the best lists in Marvel Snap right now. If you'd like to see gameplay from these outside of Sizer, please check out the stream team. Today is Wednesday, so the great GamingwithFlashX will be streaming from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. You can check Prashaun for yesterday's decks as well. All right, Frigga's Destroy Ava. Frigga Destroy Ava is the last deck. This is an Ava Zord list. Ava put this together as a way to play Frigga and Destroy, and I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea. It works really, really well. There's one card here that's sort of weird, and you can change, but almost everything else, this is just like, well, if I have 2 24-power Deadpools, that's probably good. I'm probably going to win the game, right? If I have 2 giant Venoms, I'm probably going to win the game. If I can make my death super cheap and get 2 deaths, I'm probably going to win the game. So that's all this deck is saying. It's saying I can do more things. And your opponent's going to run a lot from this. Ava's got a really great win rate with this. We haven't covered a destroy list in forever, so I felt like it was probably time anyway. So this deck only really needs X23. Agony can be Hulkbuster, Frigga can be Hulkbuster or Atuma, and Goliath can just be null. Cool. It's a destroy list, friends. So turn 1, you want Agony over X23, which is more or less equal to Deadpool. You'd like to get Agony on Deadpool, but the world does not end if you do not. Turn 2 is the same as 1, but Wolverine. Also, sorry, Nico is whenever it's like destroy and draw 2. Or you can also turn it into a demon if you're going to eat it. Turn 2 is the same as 1, but you add Wolverine in as a backup plan. Turn 3 is your first destroy. Turn 4 is your second destroy. If you're trying to Frigga, ideally that has Venom, but if not, it can be whatever. Please make sure to save Carnage if possible, because Frigga and Carnage is a possible play pattern. Um, Turn 5, Frigga for Venom or Deadpool and destroy again. If death is cheap, you can Frigga death. Turn 6 is Goliath or multiple death Deadpool Venom combos. And then you win because that's just stupid power. Again, Goliath could just be null if you want. If you end up killing an X-23 on turn 5, for example, you can go Goliath and Deadpool, and then you probably win. Really, really, really strong list. Do give it some run. I don't know what else to say, except that this is crazy strong. Please play it if you like Destroy at all. The meta is not harsh to this in any real way. You can go over the top of almost anything. If you are again in whatchamacallit, if you are in Surtur Hell still, Surtur has disappeared from the top of the Infinite Leaderboard, so the trickle down will mean that this card is less and less played throughout time. But if you are in that hill of Surtur still, make Goliath null. Thank me later. All right, so season pass question. If you want to win that Surtur, what's your favorite archetype specific one cost card? Deadpool, Scorn, Human Torch, etc. There's a whole bunch more. So what's your favorite archetype specific one drop and why is it your favorite? Cool. Oh, we covered that yesterday. I just forgot to delete it. My bad. That is a deck we covered yesterday. If you want to see it, this is one of my favorite decks in Marvel Snap. I love it. I did get the new Thena variant to put in it, and you should play it because Sandman is super duper strong right now. Question of the day. Excuse me for having that extra list in there. Our question of the day, number 1, is Mexicano. Asks if I have the urge to snap in other games. So I only really play one other game. I play Pokemon Pocket, and yes, I want to snap all the time. I look at my opening hand, I see what they have, and I go, oh my god, snap, 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 snap. And I can't snap, and it makes me very sad. Snapping is a great mechanic. At first, I was not a huge fan, but the more I've played Marvel Snap, the more I've come to appreciate how it really does make the game work. I did like High Voltage as a snap free mode, but for competitive games, I think the snap is brilliant. Mandatory Burnout asks my thoughts on Hickman's Marvel run, and I'm going to go through the 3 different versions, I guess 4, but we're going to focus on 3 versions of that I read. Hickman's Fantastic Four is probably my favorite run of Marvel comics ever. I think it's absolutely brilliant. The Future Foundation stuff, all of it is brilliant. It's high concept. It is exactly what the Fantastic Four should be. Then there's the Avengers run, which was the Time Runs Out, which I hated in real time. I was like, I don't get this. I don't understand it. At some point in Barnes & Noble, I was sitting there and I decided to just pick it up and read it again. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant and like genuinely fantastic. And I'm so happy I gave it another chance. It made Secret Wars work better, even though Secret Wars doesn't totally work. Marvel events become so editorially driven that they don't totally work. I also didn't especially like his Thanos comes to Earth thing in the middle of Time Runs Out, but that again felt editorially mandated, not like a thing that his run was doing. That's a thing that happened around his run. The actual core Time Runs Out run was absolutely phenomenal if you ever can read it in full. And then, of course, he has his X-Men run, which I've said numerous times is one of my top 5 X-Men runs ever. I love the House and Powers of X stuff. I don't like it as much as Grant Morrison's new X-Men, and obviously nothing holds a torch to the original Claremont run. But outside of that, I can't think of any X-Men run that is significantly better. The Gillen stuff is probably in 3rd place. The older Gillen stuff, the what was it called? Sanctuary, maybe, I don't know, whatever, that when they had their island off San Francisco, that era of Gillen was probably 3rd, because there's just like the big long runs are always epic, and then there's a bunch of stuff in between that's meh. So yeah, that's where I land on Hickman. Hickman's one of my favorite writers. I love him thematically. I think he's brilliant. I think his characters can be a little robotic, and in Fantastic Four that ended up working to his favor because he was focused on Reed a lot. But outside of that, it's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant writer. I love him. Certain support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks, and it has now gotten quite late, so I'm going to fly once more for this second video. Thank you to Abigail Giesland, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, David G. Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Danton, LAB, who's always kind, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I Am Frostman, J. Navalit, Thinking Poker, who's urging us all to move to Blue Sky, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, The Ryans, Caretaker Lee, The King of Questions, Koire, Black Dahlia, Pyrofros, The Goat Seeker, Archangel 3K, Hollowed, Quid, Pro, Joe, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginge, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extra C, and Skippy G, and Jessica Gamble, Tommy Nyquist, The King of Bros, Brett, The Great Kazoo, Kepsy Hoda, Ludacris, Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Cube Town, Clam, Colonel, Forbin, 8th Frickin' Sage, Models Mod Supreme, The Green Goblin, one of the Osborne clan, Unibot, Flan 56, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Justin H. Martin, Jason B. The Fuzzy Donut, Spectrum X, Hoot, Matt H. DJ Mike Hijinks, Snowflex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, Zodrex, the King of Canada, Dead Man Falcon, Jonesy, Two Ties, the Great Lornez, the Parking Tucker, and of course, Kenny T, where the T stands for. Check out the date of my video right there. Check out another video, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Snap Take. 2 times. Good night, everybody. I'm tired. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.